So we got three different generations of headphones, the Solo 4, the Solo 3, and the Solo 2 wireless. Why is this review different? We are an electronics repair company, which means we actually fix the stuff that we work on, and we know the different things that are going to fail, as well as what internal parts these have which match one another or don't. That's what makes our reviews different. We don't just go on Best Buy and look at the description and explain it to you guys in a video. We actually just look at the insides of these headphones and we compare them to see what internal parts is being used, as well as what kind of firmware are they putting on there, what kind of new technology are they building into the circuit boards, as well as other features that are pretty boilerplate that anybody can find on the internet as well. So hopefully you guys enjoy this review, and if you guys do, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like it, comment, so that way more people can see this, and we really appreciate you guys doing that. As we all know, Beats has been in business for quite a while now, and progressively since they started until now, they've been tuning down the audio significantly, where it's less muddy and a little bit more clear. And with the release of the Solo 4 here, welcome 2024. If you're watching from the future or from the past, this is when we're making this now. They've made some different changes, and one of the biggest changes they've made is adding a USB-C port on this Solo 4 wireless pair of headphones. They've also made it a little bit heavier and a little bit smaller. It's about half an inch smaller than the Solo 3. So you guys can see this is the Solo 4. The Solo 4 has a little 4 indicator on this side. It also has a USB-C port on the bottom of the headphones. From what the box said this had about 40 hours of battery life, but from different things that we've looked at, it says that the Solo 4s have 50 hours of battery life, so potentially these may have better battery life. They also removed the W1 chip specifically from the Solo 4s, and as you guys see here on the Solo 3s, this one previously was the upgrade from the Solo 2, which they added the W1 chip to the Solo 3s, which made it a lot easier to pair to your headphones, and then you were able to customize the headphones with your name and whatnot. So you guys can see here the difference between the two. The Solo 3 is a little bit bigger. When we weighed these out, the Solo 3 is 7.6 ounces, so roughly, and then the Solo 4s are roughly about 1/10 of an ounce heavier, so 7.6 versus 7.7. And so the Solo 4s are a little bit heavier. It looks like they're a little tighter too on your ears, so as I put them on here, they're a little bit tighter. They feel a little bit tighter on my ears, which is nice. And the biggest change that they made with the Solo 4 is the fact that you could use a USB-C cable to listen to audio through your charger port into your newer iPhone that has a USB-C connection, which is really sweet, which is supposed to give you really good audio. At the same time, the Solo 4s had the same functions as the AirPods Pros, where they give you spatial audio. And they're going to run you through a couple different scenarios on there, and you can put spatial audio as a setting in your phone, which will give you what they say is 64 speakers bouncing off your face at the same time, which should potentially give you better audio. So it seems like they've done a couple different things to make the audio better on these. They're going to be less muddy from my understanding as well, and they're a little bit heavier. One of the things we've noticed a lot with the Solo 3, so just to start off, we're Joe G, we're a repair company, right? The uniqueness that we have with our reviews is we actually fix electronics, and specifically headphones. We're experts in that space. If you're trying to get refurbished electronics and save money that way, we offer it on our website, joeg.com. And what we've noticed with this model here, the Solo 3s, the most common breakage in these areas is going to be right here where the headband connects to this hinge. Anytime you have metal connecting to plastic, you create failure points, and basically this headband will snap. We've fixed many of thousands of the Solo 3, the predecessor to this, as well as this part here will break. And my assumption will be that the charger ports will go out from people taking these to the gym, because they're really popular with gym goers, and the ear pads are going to stink up as well. That's pretty common. With the Solo 3, there was a really big flaw that they created with the 5-core wire that they glued in place, which after about 12 to 13 months of having the headphones would fail. And we've fixed tons of them with that very specific issue. At the same time, the main wire would fail as well because they glued a couple things down. So when we tear into these into our repair videos, we'll see exactly what they did here to induce the planned obsolescence on your headphones. But most likely you'll want to get a refurbished pair, because that whoever worked on that would have fixed that original flaw, which will allow your headphones to last a lot longer. So we'll tear into them in a different video. You guys can watch that on our YouTube channel. We obviously do repair videos, reviews, pairing steps, all that kind of stuff. But just wanted to give you guys that insight on how we're different when we do these repairs. We look at it from a standpoint of what's going to break, and we then make the solution to that and how we're going to fix it. So here's a little bit more insights here. You guys can see no Beats branding on the top. Here on the Solo 3s, you see the Beats branding. You see on the logos for the Solo 3s, it says Solo. On this side, it has nothing. And on the opposite side, you see the 4. Here, you'll see wireless. All right. So to compare them to the Solo 3, the main difference on the outside is going to be the connectors. You have the micro USB charger cable on the Solo 3, and then you have the USB-C on the Solo 4, which obviously are two different connectors. I'm really curious to see plugging in the USB-C to a USB-C if that sounds any better, and that would be really cool to test out as well. Also notice here on the right side that the Solo 3 has a fuel indicator here, so when you power it on, you'll see the little lights coming on. Here on the Solo 4, they don't have that. I'm just assuming they're trying to save money or just make it look more sleek or something, but when you hit the power button here, all you see is the little indicator on the Bluetooth settings on the left-hand side, which the light will come up here on this side, and it'll just flash away at you. So that's something that's also different. Obviously the size of this is a little bit better, so that means it'll fold up really nice. And that's about what we could see when it comes to the external differences with these specific headphones. We're gonna do some sound testing, so I hope you guys stick around to watch that and see which one's better, the Solo 4, the Solo 3, or the Solo 2 wireless headphones. And yeah, I'm excited to give this a rip, so hope you guys watch this montage as we test this away. It's really clean. It doesn't have very much muddy in this at all. Okay. They sound so much better. Custom headphones. Wow, that's like completely different. So the Solo 4s sound like Bose infiltrated the Beats Corporation and threw their speaker drivers in here, which is kind of crazy because the Solo 3 and the Solo 2, they have the same exact speaker driver. Here we go. Novelty. This is a 40 millimeter speaker driver. This is what the Beats Solo 2 and Solo 3 speakers have inside of them. Joji.com, shameless plug. This driver is identical in the Solo 2 wireless and the Solo 3 wireless. We don't know what's inside the Solo 4 wireless, we haven't tore it down yet, but my assumption is the driver's a little bit different, and they might have potentially put some sort of speakers on the inside of the speaker housing, which we don't know yet. But when the Solo 2 wireless came out and the Solo 3 wireless came out, what they changed was they added a W1 chip to the motherboard of the Solo 3, which allowed the battery to last much longer. And they also added the fast charge to the Solo 3 wireless, which allowed 5 minutes of charging to give you like 2 hours of battery life, something like that. And then the Solo 4 came out, they removed the W1 chip, they added some equivalent of maybe a W2 chip or potentially something else. And now the battery life is potentially slightly better, but the audio sounds completely different. It doesn't sound anything like the Solo 3 or the Solo 2 wireless. When I did the spatial audio connector here, what it does is it gives you the phone, you give your Face ID to China, and then you take that and you put your headphones on, and apparently that's supposed to give you better spatial audio, which is true. It does sound like you have 64 speakers in your head all at one time, but it's not muddy at all. It doesn't resemble anything that I've come to love with Beats headphones. It just seems like I don't know exactly what audience Beats has now. We work on tons of different headphones, AirPods Max, Bose headphones, Sennheiser stuff, Bowers, Wilkins, all that kind of stuff, and this is just very the mids. It's very clear. It's what this reminds me of a pair of Bose headphones, which is kind of interesting. But when I compare the Solo 4 to the Solo 3, I much prefer the Solo 3, unfortunately. But these are really nice, and to look at the difference in regards to upgrading, is it worth upgrading? So let's say Solo 3s right now refurbished for like $100, and Solo 4 is about $150 new. When we sell them refurbished, I'm sure they'll be in the $100, $120 range. Will it be worth the upgrade? I think if you're into not having as muddy of a bass, it's definitely worth it because of the couple of different add-ons that they've done. And if you don't like buying micro USB cables and you love Type-C cables, there you go, big ups. And it is supposed to give you a lot of charge really quick. 5 minutes of charge is supposed to give you 5 hours of battery life, which probably means that you're gonna have battery issues with these headphones, which that started the trend back when they came out with this with the Solo 3s, Beats X, Beats all those other headphones that came out, a lot of battery issues started happening because of how quickly the items were being charged. So we'll see if that's the case or not, but it is nice that if you're in a rush, heading down to the gym, you want to get your headphones charged, or you want to use your card charger, USB plug to charge your headphones, you can do that and it makes sense. So I would personally not upgrade because I'm not a huge fan of these, but my producer here, Aaron, decided to tell me, hey, these might be really good with the podcast. And I think that's probably true. So we're gonna crank into a podcast real quick and see how this sounds like with the podcast, because I'm pretty sure maybe that's why they made these headphones. I don't know about the listening to the music part of it, but potentially for podcasts, these might be great. So we'll check back here. All right, listening to the #1 podcast in the world on these headphones, I think you guys can guess. And the Solo 4 sounds awesome. You could really hear everyone's ums and buts super, super, super clear. A lot of the guests on there, very well-trained linguists, so you can hear everyone's vocal flaws really well. On the Solo 3, it just sounds better when in regards to a little bit muddier. It just sounds a little bit bassier, which I personally like. I don't listen to a lot of audio stuff to begin with. I listen to a lot of podcasts, so maybe the Solo 4s would be good for me, but the Solo 3s just sound so much better with music. They don't have the technology that the Solo 4s have built in with the faster charging and the spatial audio and the different things like that. But I personally would stick with the Solo 3s right now. I don't think it's worth upgrading unless you want to have some new tech, you're a big Beats fan and you love maybe the new style that they have or the new 4 colors that just came out. Remember folks, when the Solo 3s came out, there was only 4 or 5 colors that came out. We're 5 years into this. There are currently 30 variations. So what they'll do is they have 4 colors that came out, and then for the next 5 years, Beats will probably drop another 25 colors and keep selling those. So you'll have lots of time to buy these, I promise. And right now they just got a couple different colors, so if you like the colors, you can go ahead and buy it. And yeah, they're very similar. I personally like the Solo 3 so far right now, but maybe these will grow on me. So I hope this video was helpful, and if it was, please share it with other people so that way we can keep making more videos like this and spend time editing these for you guys. We appreciate your guys' support, and if you guys want to buy stuff from us to help us out, check out our website, joesge.com. We have parts, we do repair services, we sell refurbished electronics, we sell tools, and we teach people how to save money on electronics. So if you're interested in that, visit us. We'll be happy to see you. Thank you very much. My name is Joe, signing out.